Here we are with this week's segment of movies. This week, Steve and I are reviewing a movie that's newly out on DVD from Ghibli Studios, From Up on Poppy Hill. Now, this is Ghibli Studios, if you don't know who they are. Steve's a huge fan. He's made me a fan. I was familiar with My Neighbor Totoro and Spirited Away, but there's quite a few movies
Oh, yes.
that's come out of the studio.
Turning movies out since the 70s. Hayao Miyazaki, big deal in Japan, big deal in animation.
Here's the DVD. Get a good look at that. You'll want to get this one. We both watched this movie, and it's about 90 minutes long. To me, it was a young love story at its center. It had another story in it about a historic renovation and people rallying around a historic renovation, but the historic renovation was really kind of a symbol for the Japanese people after World War II not giving up their past as they were being pushed to modernize and join the Western world. Is that a fair assessment?
I think that's a very fair assessment. That's a theme that you see over and over again in Miyazaki's work. Every movie that he does is basically a giant love letter to Japan.
That's a good way to put it, a giant love letter to Japan.
He wants to be able to document and maintain their culture and the architecture, the way of life. Everything that he puts into his movies is all very historically accurate. It's all been either personally experienced by him or researched to the nth degree that he knows it's exactly 100% accurate.
Now, I've enjoyed his movies for the masterful background paintings and quirky characters that he seems to create in each of the movies. This one had no shortage of quirky characters and beautiful background paintings.
Yeah, it's a very lush, immersive background.
The paintings of the sky and the landscape and the architecture, it's just you could just turn the volume off and watch the movie if you wanted to, although I wouldn't miss the story. The story was good too. In fact, in some points I felt myself getting a little weepy.
Yeah,
there was some sentimental stuff in there, especially dealing with the daughter and her father.
That's another hallmark of a Miyazaki film, is he's very good at making you feel what the characters are feeling and have that sense of accompaniment, I think, with the characters that you're watching.
I think in almost all of the movies that I've watched from Ghibli Studios, there's been a parent missing, or both parents missing, or both parents lost, or a child's lost. There's this separation between children and parents that create almost an instant sadness and tension in the movie that ends up being resolved in the end, I think, successfully, where there's still happiness and joy and hope for the future, but just right off the bat, it just kind of get hit over the head with this.
Yeah, there's always that palpable feeling of separation anxiety, and I think that he does that as a safe anxiety to put in the movie, to have some tension, but to not be overwhelming, because he knows children watch a lot of his movies.
Right.
If we were more familiar with Japanese culture, we would see a lot of signs and hallmarks within the movie that would tell us, don't be worried about this character, good things are going to happen, everything's going to be okay in the end.
And I had read once that sense of loss that kind of permeates all of the movies was also a symbol for the suffering that Japan had to do right at the end of World War II with the destruction and the death and the occupation. And
certainly that is a very near and dear theme to him, I think. But I think it's also a device to be able to transport you through a storyline and to make sure that everybody feels good by the end of it.
So, this is the new one. From Up on Poppy Hill. Falls right in line with all the others. If you've seen Totoro and Spirited Away and, oh God, what else is
Princess Mononoke, Porco Rosso, Howl's Moving Castle.
Ponyo.
Ponyo.
Howl's Moving Castle's awesome, by the way. That's probably one of my favorites.
Yeah, I think we have to do that one in some future.
So, check out this new movie out on DVD now. You'll love it. We love it. And we'll see you next week.
Myrtle Beach, that's right, baby. Your main man from the Wasteland Brimstone's here to tell you that I'll be appearing live at XCON over at the Myrtle Beach Convention Center, May 16th through the 18th. Now, I hope to see you all there. You can make sure to get your tickets right now. That's right now at www.xconworld.com. I'll see you soon.
This week's segment of games, we're talking about one of my favorite games, HeroClix. That's right, HeroClix. That's these little guys right here. They're heroes, and on the base, you turn a dial and they make a click. Thus the name HeroClix. Now this game is really easy to play. It features all of your favorite superheroes and some you probably haven't heard of, including the bad guys. You play it on a terrain map that they usually provide with you. It's paper, you lay it down, it's not too complicated. The dials have abilities such as strength, speed, defense, attack, and special.
Okay, let's get down to it, boppers.
And as you progress through the game and take damage, you turn your dial and your stats change. And what you can't see on the camera, but I can see, is there's lots of colors on that dial, and those colors all relate to other special abilities that you gain and lose as you take damage and move through the game. During the game, you usually have 2 players, but there could be more. You pick points, you select your figures, you line up, and you go to war, so to speak.
Now, show me this card here. What's that all about?
The card, where is it? Oh, here we go. So all of the stats and info are on these nifty little cards that coordinate with the clicks.
Cool.
So you don't forget what you're doing. The rules are simple, and I believe those rules are also free. If you go to, is it WizKids?
Yes.
You can download the rules, and you can also check out the new sets that are coming. But the figures themselves also become highly collectible. Some become valuable, some aren't as valuable. Some of the sets you see here that we have today that we're featuring, Captain America, Incredible Hulk. Here's a Star Trek set. Like I said, not all of them are superheroes.
That's awesome. They also did a HeroClix set.
HeroClix. I've seen an Iron Maiden set,
Okay,
which is
let's get down to it, boppers.
pretty crazy.
Halo. They did a set for Halo.
Halo, yeah. So it's a lot of fun. Whatever your nerddom is, you can find a HeroClix set that probably fits your particular brand of nerdiness and play this game. Now we play this game in XCON Comics. I know it's being played in other places in town, like Apocalypse Comics and White Widow, I believe, is probably
I
playing.
think Coastal Comics plays a lot of HeroClix now.
So any gaming store or comic book store, you're probably going to find some HeroClix, and you're probably going to find some people who are playing. Yeah, there's no painting, nothing. These are all
no assembly required.
nicely detailed. Let me get in tight for that. Painted, ready to go models. Really cool and inexpensive. Steve
That
likes
makes a
it.
big difference.
There's about how many figures in this?
I think there's 6 in those.
5 or 6.
Let's look.
And only $14. So for $14, you're playing this game.
Can't beat that.
It can't get any cheaper than that. You can't go buy a game of Monopoly for $14.
So you can make a team out of any group of characters that you get out of the one box.
You could. Now, depending on the points, again, if you're playing a big point game, you might need 2 boxes.
But it doesn't matter if they're all from the Avengers or they're all from S.H.I.E.L.D. or they're all from Spider-Man.
No, they could be all across the board. However, if you get them all from the same team, they get team abilities which aid you in the game. So there is some advantage to keeping all Avengers or all Justice League.
Now, could I put Spider-Man, Superman, and Captain Kirk all on the same team?
Sure, why not?
So the rules would work regardless of what the sets are.
Between the sets from Star Trek to Iron Maiden to horror to the Avengers or Batman,
That's
the
pretty cool.
game mechanics all work the same. The abilities are all weighted equally so that Captain Kirk can get into a punch out with Superman if
Nice.
you want.
So we'll finally know who would win in a battle between Captain Kirk and Superman.
I think Superman would win, although Kirk would have some funny things to say along the way. So, HeroClix is the game. It's been around for a while. What, probably 15 years?
I don't know if it's been quite 15 years, but more than 10.
I know it's gone through a couple of ownerships. But
It's changed through the years, but it's essentially the same game, I believe. The addition of the cards I think has made a big difference in the ease of playability.
Yes.
And they put out, what, 4 sets a year?
More than four
More than
sets
4
a
sets
year.
a year.
The cards give you all the special abilities and allow
So
you
there's
to
always
add
new,
some
fresh
stuff.
stuff coming out.
Absolutely. So check out HeroClix. Start playing.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Blake Foster, Justin, the Blue Turbo Power Ranger. Just want to let you guys know that I'll be in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, May 16th through the 18th for XCON. Make sure you guys come check me out. I'll be there signing autographs, and I'll be in my turbo suit. Let's do this. Shift into turbo.
Hi there, Irina Varninas here. You guys always ask when am I going to come to the East Coast of Mid-America. Here we go. I'm coming to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina on May 16th, 17th, and 18th for XCON convention. Be sure to find me, stop by my table, and say hello. I look forward to seeing all of you. Kisses.
Welcome to this week's TV segment. This week we're going to talk about a favorite love on television for nerds alike. It is The Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory.
Big Bang Theory. I don't even know how many years Big Bang Theory's been on television, but it has made a big difference in nerd culture, that's for sure.
It's been a huge game changer, really, across the board, I think.
I mean, even my mother is a fan of The Big Bang Theory. People of all ages are the fans of Big Bang Theory.
This is true. That's even my parents watch it, and that's...
It's just
they
good
don't watch anything
nerdy
like
humor.
that.
Now, one of the things I found as a unique social observation on The Big Bang Theory is when I ask girls who their favorite person is or who they would most want to date or who they think's the sexiest, it's always Sheldon, Dr. Cooper. Who to me seems to be the most difficult person anybody would ever want to date.
Imagine.
I mean, he's OCD, he's arrogant, but then I start to think about that a little bit, and I guess girls really do like arrogant men, even if they're a nerd.
So it's a nerd bad boy thing.
Yeah, I guess he's a bad boy for nerds. That's a great way of putting it. But you know, the other males on the show all have their hang-ups too. So now I understand the big May the 4th Be With You episode will have probably aired before this is seen by you guys. So I hope everyone got to catch it. I hear it's going to be awesome that Lucas himself helped him out with it.
They're making a really big deal out of it, so I think it's going to be huge.
Lucas might be on it. We don't know.
Great.
We can't do spoiler alerts because we haven't seen it. We
They've
just
had
don't know.
some really... I mean, look at some of the people that they've had on there as cameos who have reinvigorated careers now because of Big Bang Theory.
Oh yeah, no doubt. If any of you haven't seen The Big Bang Theory, it centers around 4 guys who are physicists at a university teaching and studying. I think now they each have a female counterpart or close to it. Some are smart, some aren't, or smart in other ways. And then there's a whole cast of odd characters. Now, one of the things I love is that there's a comic shop that they frequent, and it looks like a real comic shop.
It's a very well-dressed comic shop. When you look at that shop, it's got all the newest stuff in it.
Yeah, the books on the wall are the books we have on the wall right now.
The promo posters that are in it are brand new, fresh, and up to date. Whoever does that comic shop does a really good job.
They must be getting their same stuff we get every week.
Yeah,
and
but I think they're getting it sooner.
Yeah, it's
Because that's just giant product placement for the whole comic book industry.
it's great. I mean, that's a really accurate looking comic shop, and even the actor who portrays the owner, constantly talking about having no money. That's pretty accurate for a comic shop, isn't it?
Sadly so.
So, if you ever want to see what that particular set on The Big Bang Theory looks like, come down to XCON Comics and look around, and you're pretty much on that set. Now, there's lots of other cool things about the show, but I understand there's a rumor they may be wrapping that show soon.
I have heard this rumor that they've decided to go out on top and kind of wrap it up with a big 7 brides for 7 brothers kind of feel.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. If they wrap it like everybody gets married kind of thing.
That'll
So,
be interesting.
who's Penny going to marry at this point?
That whole Penny Leonard relationship has just been
Right, and then you've got what's his name's sister now, the exotic sister.
Yeah,
and there's been a
yeah.
relationship there.
I got chills, they're multiplying, and I'm blue.
It's kind of like Melrose Place for nerds.
It's a little bit like a nerd opera.
Nerd
soap
opera. Could you imagine a nerd opera? That we should work on that. We should work on a nerd opera.
That's got potential.
So anyway,
Somebody needs to do it.
Big Bang Theory. I know you've heard of it. I know you've seen it. Every time I turn on the TV, it's on some channel in syndication and reruns.
Oh, it's on all day long, every day. It's
Yeah,
great.
it's gonna last for my lifetime probably. So check out Big Bang Theory. There may not be much of it left to see, so you want to catch the new episodes as it comes out. Come by XCON Comics and live the set of Big Bang Theory.
Live the nerd dream.
Sorta, not accurately, but close.
Well, it's cooler. But
And you can definitely hang out with your own nerds down here at Nerd Bar. We'll see you next time.
I got chills, they're multiplying, and I'm losing control.
Hello, Captain Jack Sparrow here. You know how I've been quoted as saying it's not the destination so much as the journey. But in this case, it's all about the destination. And that destination is XCON, May 16th through the 18th at the Myrtle Beach Convention Center. Kids 12 and under are free, and who knows, I might even make them part of the crew. So now that we have our headings, I'll see you there, mate.
What is up, XCON world? What is happening? It's Quentin Flynn here. I am so looking forward to seeing you guys. I'm trying to find my voice. See, I've lost it. You know, that's the thing. I've lost my personality. I don't know what it is. It's alright, I'm driving around trying to find it here in the City of Angels. And once I can find it, then I will drive myself toward you. Or toward an airport, you know what I mean? Yeah, jump on the airport, fly in and see y'all. You know, I want to be there in time so we have a good time. You know what I'm saying? Alright, be looking out for me. I'll be looking out for you.
Here we are for this week's segments of events with Nerd Bar Live. This past week I went and checked out the Winston Salem one-day con. It was a Saturday show up near right near the university. It was right in front of the stadium. It was kind of cool. So I have an interview from there. We're going to check that out right now.
I'm Ryan Lusk with Burke Street Comics, and this is my wife, Mary Staley.
And we are at...
We are at the Home and Garden building at the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Complex for Winston-Salem Comic-Con Spring 2014.
And how many of these have there been?
This will be the 9th consecutive show that we've done in 5 years.
6.
You're right, 5 years. We do love XCon. We have visited the store at Myrtle Beach in years past. We have not visited it here recently, and we need to.
We love having XCON girls at our show.
Yes, we love having the XCON girls at our show, and all of the staff that we've met. Everybody's awesome. We want to join you guys next year for the spring show. Plus, we get to go to the beach. That's always awesome. Yeah.
Awesome. Here we are at Winston-Salem One-Day Comic-Con with the incomparable John Harrison, working on an awesome commission. John, are you going to be at XCON this year?
I am going to be at XCON this year.
Are you excited to be at XCON this year?
I am 2, 3, 4, 5 excited to be over there at XCON this year. You have no idea. It's my favorite.
Today, right now, as you're watching this, is Free Comic Book Day. So if you're not already in XCON Comics watching this with us, you need to get in your car. Well, after you watch the show, get in your car, drive down to XCON Comics, and hope that there's some free comic books left. I'm pretty sure there'll be some.
Oh yeah, we tried really hard to order extra this year just so you can have some free comics.
And if you don't live close or you don't know where we are, we're 807 Main Street in downtown Myrtle Beach, right near where the pavilion used to be. You can't miss it. There'll be a crowd of people outside getting free comic books. Now there's a couple of other free comic book day events going on today also. Coastal Comics, Player's Choice, and Apocalypse Comics. So you could do the rounds and score yourself a lot of comic books today.
Yeah, make yourself a comic book store pub crawl.
Right.
Start at the south end of the beach and work your way up.
As soon as this show is over, get in your car and go get your free comic books. Now this week, we're getting close to XCON. It's just a few weeks away now. For example, Thursday night is XCON night at the ball field. That's right, the Myrtle Beach Pelicans are going to host XCON Thursday night. Come in costume, come as you are, it doesn't matter. Just be sure to tell them you're there for XCON. Because if you tell them you're there from XCON, we're going to have a raffle ticket. And some lucky winners are going to get a chance to go into the luxury box and hang out with our VIPs.
That's awesome.
Now, I've also heard a rumor that Marceline the Vampire Queen, Olivia Olson, will be singing the national anthem at the ball game. Now, that's going to be cool.
That's kind of a big deal, yeah.
Yeah, and if Marceline messes it up, she's a vampire queen. Don't make fun of her because she can mess you up. The next night, Friday night, VIP art show at Nerd Bar.
Very limited quantity of tickets for that. So if you want to come out, hang out with the guests, see some cool art, it's going to be a great evening. I think well worth your time and effort to get out of here for it.
It's awesome. It's very limited people. All of these fabulous celebrities will be in attendance.
We only do 100 tickets for this each year.
So get your tickets early. They do
tickets
sell
are
out.
almost gone, so you definitely want to get online and get those now.
They do sell out, and you'll want to jump in on that because on our stage in Nerd Bar, some of our guests are going to perform for us. Quentin Flynn, who's voice actor extraordinaire, Bleach, Naruto, video games, lots of stuff like that. He's going to be doing impersonations for us.
That's going to be awesome.
Olivia Olson herself, Marceline the Vampire Queen, excellent singer, has agreed to sing for us as well.
Is she actually doing songs from the TV show?
I don't know. I'm hoping we can get her to sing the Adventure Time songs, but she also has some of her own CDs out, so we'll let her pick what she wants to do.
Fantastic.
Saturday night of XCON, we have a concert back here in Nerd Bar with not one, not two, not three, but 8 acts. There will be 8 acts on our stage. It's going to be a long, fun night.
We're going to need a bigger stage.
Now, the Saturday night concert is only $8. That's $1 per band.
Can't beat that.
Each band gets $1.
It's practically free.
Yeah, so you guys need to get tickets for that too. And sadly, that has to be limited because we can only fit so many people in here. During XCON special events, kids costume contest at 2 o'clock on Saturday. Great, every kid gets a prize. The winning kids get great prizes. So you want to get there before then and make sure you have a costume and get into that costume contest. But you want to be there when the doors open because all the kids, when the doors open, get what?
Free comic books.
Lots of free comic books, and we're working on some special surprises also from some of our local attractions. Can't tell you about that yet because we don't have it in our hands yet.
It's a surprise.
But as soon as we get it in our hands, we'll be telling you all about it. So, XCON, almost here. www.xconworld.com. Get your tickets. Get them now. We'll see you there.
Hello, fellow nerds! If you are in Myrtle Beach, you need to check out XCON Comics on Main Street. It is the heart of the beach. Inside, you will find Nerd Bar, a new concept in nerdy entertainment. XCON Comics is the home of XCON, one of the fastest growing Comic Cons and the biggest in South Carolina. Whether it's comics, games, art, movies, or just something truly unique, XCON Comics and Nerd Bar is the home of what is cool in Myrtle Beach. Check out facebook.com/nerdbar1 for more information. And remember, hot chicks love comics too.
Here we are with this week's Comic Corner on Nerd Bar Live. I'm here with Steve Haynes, as you've met and love and know, and Steve always leads us off with something new and fresh. So what do we have this week, Steve?
Something new and fresh, the newest issue of Manhattan Projects.
Manhattan Projects by our friend Jonathan Hickman, who will be at XCon, who rarely goes to cons. Come and get some books so he'll sign them at the con.
He's hard to catch, so definitely this is a great opportunity for you to get out there. Meet the man, he's really awesome. Get some stuff signed by him. Totally worth it.
Let me bring that in a little tighter for you.
It's a great comic.
Manhattan Projects is about what if the scientist who worked on the Manhattan Project invented a time machine, or found a time machine, and really started having a lot of odd fun, to say the least. This particular issue, as you see there's an axe at the top, is all about Albert Einstein, the Barbarian. Let that sink in for a minute, then get in your car, come down here and buy this copy of this book, and get Mr. Hickman to sign it himself for you. What else do we have, Steve?
We have the omnibus #1 of Hackslash by another friend of ours, Tim Seeley.
And another XCon guest who's going to be here in just 2 weeks.
This is a collection of pre-image printed hack slash stories. This has got some of the best slasher stories in it. A lot of crossovers with horror characters that you probably recognize. There's some great stories in this book. Highly recommended.
We'll bring that in for a closer view. Now, the premise of this is there's a teenage girl who goes about the country killing some of your favorite serial killers from movies.
They're called slashers.
Slashers. Jason, Freddy Krueger, the like.
Chucky.
Right. And so it's funny, it's a little gory, and it's a lot of fun. What else do we have?
Super violent, too.
Yes, and Tim's going to be at XCON. He loves signing these. You should get them.
Next we have Creepy Kitchen by a local writer, Lee Newman.
Lee Newman. Now, this isn't a comic book per se. It's a kid's book. But it's also fun for adults.
It's a pretty cool book.
And that is what Lee Newman looks like. In fact, I've seen that face a lot.
Totally in his own book. And why not?
So this is a story of a guy who doesn't want to clean the dishes. And the dishes come to life and take the form of various universal monsters. Werewolf, Dracula, I think there's the creature from the Black Lagoon in here, the mummy. Kids love this book. I love this book. Lee Newman's going to be at XCON selling and signing this book. And if we're lucky, we're going to get him to read it a couple of times to your kids. So another reason to come down to XCON and have the writer of the book read it to your children, and then you can get him to sign it for your kids. We'll see you next week in the Comic Corner.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's the time of the year. Another XCON is almost here. Grab your money and log in now. Dr. Puck, we're gonna show you how. Just go to xconworld.com. You already know it's the bomb. Comic, toys, games, and fun. Movie stars, anime, I'm not dumb. Party concerts and hanging with me. As always, kids under 12 are free. You better get your ticks fast and save some cash.